or both, right? This is one thing that's been, I'm almost 2 years of not drinking. And the one thing that's been like hard to deal with and it is am I like, what's fun anymore? Everything just seems so boring if you're not drinking. And I've been having to reframe and rebuild what I think the word fun or enjoyment even means. And the other layer of it that's been hard is, with trying to explain to Chelsea and trying to show to Chelsea that it's not because of her and it doesn't have anything to do with what she's doing, right? But when I quit drinking, I hated it about the first year. It started to taper off. The first 6 months, I was kind of pissed. It was my choice to stop, but I was kind of pissed. Like someone was making me do it. And I hated it, and I hate it. And to this day, I'll make, jokes about it, like, but it's, I think at the end of the first year, I started kind of understanding and getting the game of what all the benefits were. But one thing that was like lingering, and that still is lingering, is like, I feel like drinking, we used to go out, or I used to go out, or even not go out. I equated it with fun. And so now I don't even know what the word fun means, or what, and literally, like, we're sitting in our therapist's office and I'm going, don't judge me for this, like, or do whatever, but I'm legitimately asking this question. I'm not being facetious. Like, how do you define enjoyment? How do you define fun, and so it's like, from when I hit 17, 18, 19 years old, it was pretty much go on all the drugs at first, and then after that, just alcohol. And so yeah, it's having to redefine what that word fun really means, and it's having to redefine how I judge the feeling, right? Because with drinking and with drugs, there's these massive, massive highs and massive, massive lows. And I think I don't know about you guys, but what I've experienced, I feel like when you've experienced those massive highs, it's hard to match that feeling, that buzzing, tingling feeling, with anything but drugs or alcohol, or something else maybe that is that thrill or elicits that kind of not crisis response, but like a heightened and intense response, And so when you go, okay, well, what do you enjoy doing? Well, I love when Chelsea and I go on walks, right? Well, what does that enjoyment feel like? That enjoyment, when you go on a walk with your partner, or when you have a good conversation with a friend, that enjoyment doesn't feel like the intense high you get when you go and slam a few shots, or, and you're out partying, or you're buzzed up, or whatever. It's a different feeling. And so, as stupid as this sounds, I've had to like find the enjoyment in these moments, and then also like understand that is what enjoyment feels like, and that what the hardest part is that it's okay for me to be going through this transition, because like I said, I'm almost 2 years of no drinking, which in reality, in my mind, isn't that long of a time, right? Because you've been drinking daily for almost 2 decades. So 2 years, okay, I feel like I'm starting to get the hang of it, and I definitely feel like it's easier to, say no or whatever, and I'm definitely not thinking about it as often, but I don't think it's like any kind of crazy long time, And so what I set out to do when I stopped is I was like, well, you drank every day for all these years, so now I've got to give myself a good runway to work through some of these problems. Like I can't get sober or stop drinking for 2 weeks or a month or 2 months. I drank every day and did damage, for a number of years, almost 2 decades. So I have to give myself the right amount of runway to work through some of these issues with Chelsea, with myself, with a therapist, go sit on a beach somewhere and stare out into the ocean or whatever, and try to work through some of these issues. And so I've just had a couple of lingering issues, and of course it's compounded with, like, if you guys are in a relationship or a serious girlfriend, boyfriend, I got a wife, and it's like you're having these feelings, and I want to talk to her about it. I want to be honest with her about it, because it's related to not drinking and related to all the stuff that's it comes from that, and you deal with from that, but it's hard. It takes both people to not put it on themselves. Because if your partner comes to you and goes, "Oh, I don't think life is fun when you're not drinking." Well, I don't care who you are. If you're the closest person to that person, it's easy to be like, well, what? That means you're not having fun with me, or that means I'm not doing enough, or that means I'm not. And so it's like, I wish I was better at articulating that I feel like these issues come from within and come from myself, and they're for me to work out. Not anything anybody else is causing or doing. But it's been a trip, man. I feel like a little kid, because it's like I have to find the joy in going out to a dinner, having a conversation with, going out to a park, going out to a hike, and it's like, everything feels so reversed, and I feel like a little kid, because I feel like I'm having to do and learn some of the most basic things. But I guess for me, one big thing is, like, I knew when I was drinking every day, for me, one of the biggest things is I just felt like I was delaying my growth. Like I was like every day I would wake up and drink, or every night that I would drink is a day that I have the capacity to do the work I need to do, but that I'm just putting it off. And so this now is kind of a testament to that, because it's like I feel like I'm learning some of the most basic things. I literally asked my therapist, what do you feel like? Explain to me the feelings you feel, what you feel when you're having fun or when something is enjoyable. And that feels like, I feel like I'm a sick person. I feel like I'm broken. Something's broken for me to even ask that or not feel it in a certain way. But I've equated that for so long with drinking, doing drugs, that it's like, if we're going out and we're not going balls to the wall and getting hammered, why are we going out? Why don't we just stay in and hang out? And so it's like, and then it's like, you have to redefine what the word boring is. So is life more boring? Maybe, but why is boring a bad word, right? It's always like, stay out of trouble, say a greeting to someone or say bye to someone, stay out of trouble, stay out of trouble. It's like, maybe life is more boring, but that doesn't have to be a bad word. And that time spent doing that is now spent doing some other things. But I just know for me it's been so difficult to redefine what fun means. What do you enjoy? I don't know. I thought I enjoyed drinking. That was my identity. That's who I was. I didn't really do anything without drinking. So I don't know what I truly enjoy without drinking, to go out there and just sit and go. And so that's just been one of the tougher things that I've been working through. Is it more boring or is it better? Because when I look at life, the no drinking's been an absolute trip, because when I look at life on the whole, it's been so much better. My life and my relationship and everything is so much better. But on the day-to-day, there are days where I definitely miss drinking, and I miss those high highs. And to be honest with you, some days I miss those low lows too. So it's a trip, it's life. The journey keeps going, but one of the things that's been one of my main things is having to reframe what fun means and having to try to understand what it's like to enjoy something. And I don't think I'm there yet. If you guys got any, comments, or if you guys got any, words of advice, let's talk about it.